you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you could possibly imagine.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Bulldog here, and today we got some good news. We got some much-needed good news from the developers at Splinterlands. Price has gone down a few days. We need something to boost our spirits, and they dropped this little tidbit in a post earlier today that's worthy of a video, so I'm going to go through it. They announced that 21 new reward cards are coming on Monday. That's going to be super exciting, and there are 4 new abilities. We saw in one of the card leaks that I did a video on earlier in the week. We saw that there was a new ability on one of the legendary cards. Turns out that's not the only one. There's going to be 4 new ones, and we get to see exactly what those abilities do now. We don't get to see details on the exact cards. They're saying we're gonna have to wait until Monday on that, but there's a lot of other goodies packed into this post. So let's kind of jump in and look at this. So they dropped some new graphics here, and they announced 21 new reward edition cards have been completed and will be out on Monday. There's going to be 6 common, 8 rare, 4 epic, and 3 legendary. So there'll be 3 new cards from each Splinter element, as well as 3 neutral cards. So that's going to be exciting. That is absolutely going to be exciting. It's going to have the new card frame artwork from Chaos. We've kind of seen that a little bit. By the way, I was saving up my reward chest. They announced that that's not going to work. The reward chest from the last season will not contain the new reward cards, which I was disappointed in because I was saving it, but I agree with the decision to do that. I absolutely agree with the decision to do that. They shouldn't reward those of us who hoarded the chest. I was doing it just in case. But this is an interesting thing right here. Print limits. In an attempt to keep pace with the astonishing level of growth that Splinterland has been experiencing lately, the print limits for the reward edition cards will now be 20 times the limits for the previous reward edition cards. 8 million commons, 2 million rares, 800,000 epics, and 200,000 legendaries. Sounds like a lot. 8 million commons! We're starting to see much higher print rates, which is going to mean these cards are probably not going to sell for as much as the previous reward cards. Like right now, an Axe Master is one of the only epics available, one of the only cards in general left in the reward crates. It's selling for about $10. We'll probably go up when it's out of print. I don't see these epics selling for the same $10. At least maybe right away. Maybe right away when there's not that many out and people want to buy them up and use them right away and max them out as soon as they can. I could see them selling for a lot, but as these all get out there, they're probably not going to sell for as much. It's probably going to be more affordable, and a lot of people might not like that, might think that's too much. But they go in this to show in detail that basically at the current number of accounts we have, which keep in mind this is growing extremely fast. At the current amount of accounts, that means less than 10% will ever be able to reward, or will ever be able to own a max level regular foil of these cards. 10% of the players, even at those print numbers, if you evenly distributed max level cards amongst everybody, only 1 in 10 players would get those. So what they also have is different power and DEC burn values. Regular, it's cut in half. So regular foils are only going to be 5 for commons instead of 10. And it makes sense because there's a lot more cards that are going to be out there. So it makes sense to cut that power in half. And they're going to be a lot cheaper, supposedly. I mean, that's what we're expecting. They're going to be a lot cheaper to buy. So that way it doesn't just kind of diminish the current power requirements. Gold cards are also now going to be 25 times the regular foil version instead of 50 times. So that's a little change as well with gold. One good thing is we're going to get a lot more cards. Everybody likes to pull cards from their loots, right? So this is a change that I really, really love. Instead of cards, DEC, and potions being divided up equally, you get a 1/3 chance of each of them. You now have a 50% chance to get a reward card. It's increased significantly. It's basically a 50% increase from before. Only 25% for DEC, 25% for potions. So you're going to see more reward cards, fewer potions, fewer DEC. You'll still have a 1% chance of getting a Chaos Legion pack once it's in there. That was something that was for, like, you had that chance with Untamed. You'll have that chance with Chaos once Chaos is released. I can't wait. I want to see it. So, unfortunately, they're not going to show us all the stats, but they do give us these 4 new abilities. 4 new abilities. And I should have taken myself off the screen here earlier, but we'll do that now. Amplify. Increased Magic Reflect, Return Fire, and Thorns damage for all enemy monsters by 1. That could be a major game changer. We know how powerful Reflect is, Thorns, Return Fire. We know how powerful some of those characters are that have multiple of those. Lord Arianthus is kind of the first one, the big one that jumps to my mind. You're going to be able to increase that damage, and increasing it by 1 can be kind of significant. A lot of times you're returning half damage, so you may only be returning 1 or 2 damage. That's a major percentage increase in that damage there. And we've got each of those right there has a summoner associated with it. Magic Reflect, we've got Ouster. Return Fire, we've got Deep Swimmer. Thorns, we've got Mylor. Who knows who's going to have Amplify and which splinter they're going to be in, or if it's going to be a neutral splinter. But if you can run Amplify with any of those summoners, those are already 3 very, very good summoners. 3 extremely good summoners. And now that's going to increase their damage even more if you can get a card out there with Amplify. So that's going to be interesting to see. And if we're looking at Mylor, for example, Mylor is one of the best, maybe the best starter card to get to climb through bronze. And okay, if Amplify is an ability that somebody, whether it's a neutral card or somebody in the Earth Splinter, is getting, what level is it going to be? Mylor's effectiveness kind of decreases as he levels up and we go to higher leagues. Is this something that can make him more effective now at your champion league? If Amplify is something that a monster doesn't get until later. Are all of these? I've kind of assumed that all the reward cards are going to be monsters, but I guess we don't even necessarily know that. We could have this on a summoner. They didn't really specify that specifically, so there's a lot of what ifs here. A lot of what ifs, and I've got to thank those characters that we've got 2 very good characters that just went out of print. We've got Almo and Onyx Sentinel that just went out of print that were previous reward cards. That normally when a monster goes out of print from the reward cards, its price skyrocket, especially if it's a good card like those are. They kind of skyrocket. They didn't, because basically the whole market kind of went down. People weren't really buying those types of things or stocking up on those types of things. We didn't see that normal price increase that we normally see. Are we now going to see that price increase as those cards can both take advantage of Amplify? I don't know. Those are just some cards that jump out at me and screaming, buy me right now. Like, luckily I've got those 2 maxed. I already maxed those 2 out. I wanted to max them out before they went out of print. So I've got them, but if you don't have them, you might want to get them. You might want to get in there and get them. Okay, enough on Amplify. I beat that to death. Force Field. This is another interesting one. Actually, all 4 of them I like. All 4 of them are interesting. This monster takes only 1 damage from attacks with power 5+. My assumption is that means an attack of 5 or more. So if you go in with a big time attack, Force Field is going to reduce that damage to 1. That is a major game changer. If you bring in a big attack, normally those characters that have 5+ mana, 5+ power are high mana cards. If you're using high mana, using a lot of your mana on a card that's going to have all that attack, and now it's only doing 1 damage, that's going to hurt. If you've got your Sandworm that's normally attacking for 7-8 damage on the back line, and now it just does 1 damage, ouch. That can be painful. Okay, my favorite card that I like to run is Lord of Darkness. Lord of Darkness, you hit him, you tick him off, his damage increases, he's doing 6 damage, 8 damage. Not anymore. Not if they have Force Field. Going from an 8 damage attack to a 1 damage attack? Wow. It's something that could be super powerful, but also can kind of be niche because, okay, you put on Force Field, you might not face anybody on the other side that even has 5+ power. Not a lot of characters are going to have 5+ damage attacks. Could be kind of some counters there and some things, and I like that. I like the theory crafting that's going to go in that and trying to predict what your opponent might play. Camouflage, pretty simple. The monster cannot be targeted for attacks unless it's in the first position. My immediate question is, what happens if you put camouflage in the back and somebody has sneak? Do they not attack at all? Do they skip to the character in front of that? I'm kind of curious there. But overall, camouflage is going to be a great way to hide some of your cards. I mean, there's a lot of cards out there that have low health that are vulnerable to sneak, to snipe, to opportunity. This fixes that. All right, Death Blow. Excuse me. All right, Death Blow. This monster does 2 damage, 2 times damage, if their target is the only monster left on the enemy team. This says Last Stand counter to me. We've seen Lamacron. We've seen lots of powerful combos with Last Stand. This helps even the playing field a little bit. Now your other monster gets 2 times damage. Then are we going to see what happens? I instantly see combos here of what happens if you have a Last Stand Force Field combo going up against somebody with Death Blow, and that makes it work against them. I don't know, I'm getting off track here. But Death Blow could be a way to counter things like Lamacron. Now Kron's still going to have all that healing. Still going to be tough to get to, even if you are doing a little bit extra damage. But that can make a difference. Death Blow could absolutely make a major difference. And a lot of times we see single cards holding the line at the end, and we go to Fatigue. Who really likes going to Fatigue? I mean, I like that there's something like this in here that might just be kind of a way to avoid that. So, anyways, the 2 new cards, we've seen these before, but I'll show them to you again. Lava Launcher. Lava Launcher! Just screams to be used with Jotun. High damage, stun, can attack from the front. You can be a tank, a ranged tank. That's all Jotun needs. He's got enough archers in there. Now you're going to let him stick one in the front? Jeez. I like it. The Jin. Great tank if you think magic's coming. Void. Can dodge. Now you got the Force Field. You're going to avoid major hits. Go up against my Lord of Darkness. Can't do much damage. Looks like a nice little tank and can dish out some damage too. Looks like a nice little legendary card. I want it! That's the end of the post. That's all we've got. So, nothing in the game yet, but a lot to be excited about. A lot to be excited about and a lot of speculation with these abilities. These are the big thing. These abilities. How are these going to change cards? And we gotta know, we need to know what level they're available at, what splinters they can be used on, or if they're neutral, how many cards are going to have these, if they're even monsters or summoners. A lot of questions. It almost brings as many questions as it answers, but it's exciting. Those of you who know me from some of the other games, I'm a big time theory crafter, and I see these and my brain just starts turning. I love it, and I cannot wait till Monday. Monday is going to be like Christmas. It's going to be like Christmas morning. I don't know if it'll be morning when it's coming, but I hope it's later in the day. So that I can get these done. I want to get some live streams and do all sorts of theory crafting. I can't wait to see what the costs are as they all kind of come out at once. That's going to be interesting. I'm excited. I'm super excited if you guys can't tell. I am absolutely excited. Let me get myself back on the screen. We'll get off here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. There's so much more coming. I have a jam-packed schedule full of videos and live streams the next few days. My next live stream is 11 a.m. on Friday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern on Friday morning. Then Sunday, we have the finals of the Adamant Coin Top Dog Challenge. The top 32 players will be there. Some of the best players in the game are going to be competing at the silver level to take home. We've got about $1,500. It was up to $1,500 in prizes. Now DEC and some of the values have gone down a little bit, but still a lot of prizes to give away to those 32 players. Top 16 will get some major prizes. So come on down, check that out. I can't wait to see you guys there.